Give me a little intro there, Gomer.
There's no turning back now.
Let's put on the show.
You're listening to episode number 59 of the Station 71 podcast. My name is Mario, and this week I'm joined by my co-hosts,
Beth
and Brian.
So we've got a pretty fun show for you guys this week. But before we dive into all that, let's talk about some news topics around Walt Disney World. So the first thing that we got this week was the full Candlelight Processional lineup has been announced for 2018, which is kind of cool. And, you know, we're getting into the point now where everything's pretty much Christmas. It's Halloween's over. We're here. It's time to be, merry. But I'm not going to go through the full list. I'll post it in the show notes. Big two that we got out of this one are John Stamos and Robbie Benson. Obviously John Stamos from Full House and Robbie Benson, who was the voice of Prince Adam from Beauty and the Beast. So that's pretty exciting, kind of cool. Other than that, I didn't see too many new ones. I know Beth pointed out the voice of Moana in there too. But yeah, I'll post these in the show notes. How do you guys feel about them? Anyone you're specifically interested in or not interested in?
I'm not sure I would say necessarily interested in, but kind of surprised Cal Ripken Jr. in here. Kind of an odd person to throw in, but
yeah, it is.
I'm also noticing that Jodie Benson is on the list, who is the voice of Ariel, so that's kind of cool.
I'm kind of surprised at the dates that she's on there too. I thought that they would have had her before Christmas. She would be one of the big draws on here, I feel like.
But yeah, nobody that I would make a special trip for here.
I think if I was going to go, John Stamos might be a fun one to do. Gary Sinise would be a fun one. And I definitely think, Neil Patrick Harris is there all the time. I love him, so I would go see him. But that's not one I would make like a specific, like, I have to go now trip for.
Right.
But I think Jodie Benson would be cool to see too. But like you said, I wish that she was before Christmas or like, that just feels odd. So next news story that we got was that Disney released a new set of mini ears for Epcot, themed to the Bubblegum Wall, Germany, Italy, France, and England. They feature the geometric design of Spaceship Earth with a bow in the middle that's themed to those different places. It's kind of interesting, but also kind of feels like something you'd see on like a Disney small shop.
That's what I was thinking when I saw these. Yeah. So are they're each their own set of ears, or is it the kind where you can change the bow?
I am not sure, but it says Disney released 4 mini ears based on Epcot's World Showcase Pavilion. So I'd assume that they're actually different.
4 separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would make the most
cooler.
sense, though, to do the interchangeable ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Just buy the bow in the different pavilions, and then you could always add different bows in, too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, yeah, they're cute, but like you said, I think that I don't think that they look like officially Disney licensed product.
Disney's been doing that a lot lately, where they'll release a product that looks like it's something you'd see on a small shop, and I always feel like I see them and I'm like, I think I've seen that somewhere else. And then you go to find it and you can't do it.
Yeah, they've been pushing that a lot lately.
And I think we talked about this maybe on our rants episode, but they've definitely been acknowledging a lot of the like social media trends and stuff a lot more. The fact that they even made a set of ears themed to the one wall is like, all right. Disney, I see what you're doing there.
I mean, like the D-Style store that they opened up fairly recently at Disney Springs it feels to me like essentially a brick and mortar like Disney Etsy shop.
Really? I haven't looked into that too much, but I think I want to now just to see.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't say that as like a negative thing because a lot of the stuff in there is really cool and stuff that I want to buy.
So next news story that we have on here is that we are going to be getting a new meet and greet in Epcot. This article says, ahead of the return to theaters, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope Von Schweetz will be meeting guests in both Disney parks across the coast. So we're getting it in California Adventure and also in the ImageWorks Pavilion in Imagination at Epcot, which is the weirdest place that they could have placed that. Does anybody think that spells doom for Figment?
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw this, and my first thought was, like, if they were going to put a meet and greet there, they should have just brought back the Dreamfinder Figment meet and greet, but I know no one would know.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I know no one would know who Dreamfinder is at this point. Like, I feel like that's kind of the niche Disney thing now, unless you were around for it. But...
Well, I think that if they did, that he could probably catch back on. Like, I still think that there's a bunch of people out there, like, even people like me who I never got to ride the original version, but I'm a big Dreamfinder fan because of the comics.
Right, and that's the thing. They kind of could have revived him through the comics. Like, they had the perfect opportunity to test the waters with this, and I'm sure they have the costume around somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But I was actually, and I know I sent you guys a picture, but I was Dreamfinder for Halloween, and I posted it on the Walt Disney World subreddit, and got a lot of response of, oh, I love this, I love Dreamfinder, and it was mostly people who were like stoked on the costume with like a couple of who is this like peppered in between. So I feel like if they wanted to bring him back, that it could become really popular, but since when does Disney do things that we want them to do?
All of these news articles have been like mildly cynical.
I gotta say, I love Wreck-It Ralph, but these costumes just kind of creep me out a little bit. Like, all of the face characters that are like the, I don't know, people characters that don't actually show their face and have like the big bobbleheads.
Yeah. Like, this is one of those that it's like, man, you think they maybe could have done, like, face characters instead of doing the full costume.
They definitely could have for Vanellope.
Or they could have just done that weird, like, kind of face character, kind of like half-body fur character, like they did for Jim Hawkins from Treasure Planet. I'm never going to let that one die.
Yeah, and the hands freak me out because there's like big cloth hands.
Oh yeah, that is pretty weird.
I feel like that's probably the best route that they could have gone for them, though, because they're still kind of cartoony.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It kills me that they're putting them here. There's got to be a better place for this. But that, to me, just means that within the next couple months or next year at D23, we're going to hear something about Imagination getting updated, and we're not going to see Figment anymore.
They can't get rid of Figment. Like, if they do take him out of that, like, they have to put him somewhere else. Like, they sell way too much Figment merchandise to let him go.
I know, every festival is going to have
he's the
brand
mascot.
new type of theming.
But here's my worry, and I don't know if this is going to, like, if you're going to totally disagree with me on this, or if this is going to, like, reaffirm my fear with you guys. Figment's in the parks now. He is the mascot for, like, all of the festivals. But they still sell Duffy merchandise, and they still have Duffy meet and greets. But where do we get the story about where Duffy Bear comes from?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I feel like Disney can still keep Figment around and use him as the mascot for festivals and stuff like that, but not have him in an attraction, which is, like, a little upsetting to me because I love him as a character, even in the horrible iteration he's in now. But
I wouldn't be heartbroken to see that ride turned into something else. I would just be sad to not have Figment, like, I don't know, constantly present in some way. Although, I mean, there's a festival, like, all year round, so he kind of is anyway.
Yeah. So are we ready to dive into the topic this week?
Yeah.
So this is a fun one, and I'm very excited about this. We do a lot of Disney reviews on this show. We talk a lot about the good and the bad. So we wanted to take a week off and let some other people review Disney for us. This week, we are going to be talking about some funny Disney reviews that we found on... Did you guys strictly use Yelp, or did you use like Google reviews and that too?
I just strictly use Yelp.
Okay,
Yelp.
so did I. Because...
Oh man, I should have done Google reviews. Those are even worse.
I couldn't find a way to sort Google reviews, so that made it a little hard. But we used Yelp this week, and we kind of let some of these reviews speak for themselves. We kind of originally, when we talked about this, we were thinking maybe like have each other guess, just kind of read them off. We didn't really have a set structure for this, so this is going to be kind of all over the place. Each one of us has a park. I have Magic Kingdom. I believe Brian has Animal Kingdom and Beth has Epcot, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we all have different attractions, restaurants and stuff like that were reviewed by people on Yelp. And we're going to go over these, talk about them, maybe see if we agree or disagree. I was telling Brian before we started recording, I didn't strictly just do 1 stars because some of mine were like all over the place. So I kind of want to have you guys guess too. So maybe we'll do some of that. We'll see where we fall with this. Okay, so this first one I have 2 reviews for. I'm going to start with one, and then if you guys can't guess it, we'll go to the next one. A lot of these I feel like they're pretty straightforward to where they are for the most part. But this first review, I want you to guess where it is and how many stars this person gave it. So it says, first, let me say this is one of my favorite attractions in Magic Kingdom. We just got back from a short trip to Walt Disney World, and it was very disappointing. Why? The light levels inside were so low. We could barely see anything. When the door opened to the hallway, we could hardly see any of the cool effects. As we were pushed down and dropped down the hallway, it was a trick to stay off of people's heels. We jumped into our vehicle and prepared for a fun trip. The light levels continued to be too low to see the effects inside the attraction. I'm not sure if they dialed it back on purpose or if they didn't pay their light bill. As I said, very disappointed this trip. As a point of comparison, the ride in California is much brighter and more fun. If you want, I can give you...
And you have Hollywood Studios,
I
right?
have Magic Kingdom.
Oh, Magic Kingdom. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like, first, it sounds to me like Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
But
it is.
It's supposed to be dark, so is this person just like...
Well, now let me read you the next review that I have. Mind you, this one is a little rough. I'm not entirely sure that English was this person's first language because there's a lot. So if I trip over this one, I apologize. It's this next one says, I will score for what the feeling of being inside is, since that is the aim, in my opinion, to cause fear. On the outside, it is a 10 without a doubt. And in all caps, it says, it is the live movie. Very, very good. Just because... Just behind you, you have a hall-type lounge that is the most spooky that is in this attraction.
5 out of 5 spookies.
When you get into the car and you go through different rooms and or places, the terror begins to diminish. There are many ghost holograms. I'm not going to advance more than that. It is worth clarifying that I visited Magic Kingdom on one of the days that would be 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. the next day, 24 hours to enjoy the park. So I went around 2 a.m. to die of fear, but did not. It is worth knowing it, but keep in mind that the wait for this attraction. Recommend to go with children.
All right. I think you hit the nail on the head with that English not being their first language, which, more power to them. I'm not bilingual, but...
That whole time I couldn't tell if that was a positive or a negative review.
I know, right?
Some stuff they sounded extremely excited about, and then other stuff not so much, so...
My favorite parts of this attraction are, I will score for what the feeling of being inside is, since the aim, in my opinion, is to cause fear. And then the next part that says, in all caps, it is the live movie. Very, very good.
Like, what does that mean?
I don't know if they were trying to say it's like the movie, in which case,
They can't have been insinuating that.
Because if that's where they were going for, I'm kind of afraid here, and I don't know. So... Now let me ask you, what do you think that person gave this attraction? Do you have any idea?
I'm no idea.
That's a solid 3-star review right there.
right on the head, 3-star.
Really?
So it wasn't really positive or negative.
Well, I mean, they didn't die of fear at 2 a.m. like they wanted to. So.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And that first one was a 2-star review. So.
Well, they should just turn the lights on and check them.
Or pay their electric bill.
Right. Disney didn't pay the electric bill. Okay.
Yeah. At first, I thought it was going to be Space Mountain because of that. And then when you talked about walking and then, moving the people up, I was like, okay, so not Space Mountain. But equally ridiculous to complain about the lights not being on.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh.
All right. Should I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I did strictly 1-star reviews because that's all I was looking at, but I think I found some pretty good ones. So you guys can try and guess. There's not a whole lot of context, but you may still be able to guess. So anyway. Go to other places in Epcot, and then 6 exclamation points. Don't waste your time.
I think I already know.
Don't waste your time on this. I have waited 2 hours for this boring, cheap old ride. I really want to kill myself. I would rather take photos with Mickey 10 times than take this ride. So boring, OMG. Have no idea why this ride is so popular.
Oh my God.
That's got to be Soarin', right?
It is.
I was torn. I was like, it's got to be something that like is really popular. So maybe it's Soarin', or maybe it's like Spaceship Earth or something stupid. But
no,
like,
see, I knew it was Soarin' because I wrote the review.
Oh, I didn't know you were from Taiwan, Brian. Yeah, I was like, man, this guy's got some passion in his voice here. He's got some strong feelings.
that was a good one.
All right, me.
Yeah.
All right, I might not should do this one first because it's probably the best one, but I'm gonna go with it anyways. I'll see if you can guess which restaurant this one's from.
Oh no.
The chicken nuggets are not dino shaped. 4 exclamation points. WTF Disney. Missed opportunity, you jabronis.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
So, I mean, it's got to be Resto then, right?
Yep.
Oh no.
That's their complaint, is that they're not dinosaur shaped.
This was a 1-star review. And
like, how did they taste?
I don't know. Who cares? They're not dino shaped.
Don't even bother. Man.
The funniest thing about this was looking at some things and seeing overall how high the star level was on it. And Restaurantosaurus was definitely one of those. I think it was like 4 stars, which is kind of surprising.
I had to I was looking at some restaurants, like Tony's doesn't pop up in here because all of their reviews were overwhelmingly bad, but not funny bad, just like bad. And
yeah.
that was the thing that like was so hard about this, was a lot of them, like I was looking for things and a lot of the restaurants were either scored fairly or like were scored in a way that I couldn't find any humor in them. The only thing that was funny was that people kept calling Tony's Town Square a knockoff Olive Garden.
No.
Pretty accurate.
I like Olive Garden. Am I alone in that?
No, I like Olive Garden
Tony's
too.
like Olive Garden?
I like Olive Garden too, but Tony's is like the version of Olive Garden that you would get in a place that's not really good, but you're expecting like good Italian food. I really don't know how to explain it. It's not good. But a lot of people seem to think that way. And it had like a 3-star rating. But speaking of restaurants, I have this one that's really good, and I had to cut a whole bunch of it because this person actually wrote like a blog post on Yelp. So I cut this down a little bit. It's still kind of long. I may shorten it as I go, but okay. So this one says, given the hype and the difficulty of getting reservations, I expected better food, especially for kids. We ate at lunchtime. I tried to get a bite of my dad's French onion soup. The French onion soup was good. The soup was piping hot and featured lots of cheese, which is the best part of the soup in my opinion. Of course, I love cheese so much that my dad says I must be a mouse. I told him I was happy to be a mouse as long as it was Minnie Mouse.
Oh my god, this person is the most.
Oh man, this is like dad joke central right here.
Mind you, this was like 12 paragraphs of them explaining their food, and it gets worse. I mean, not joke worse, but like their review gets really weird. So it says, Disney usually makes excellent unsweetened iced tea at its restaurants. I was disappointed that this restaurant's unsweetened iced tea was made from black tea, very strong. I mentioned the issue to a server, politely suggesting that they have a professional taste it and consider replacing it. She ignored my suggestion, but unhelpfully asked me if I would like sweetener for the unsweetened iced tea, since it was strong. The kids' meals are very small portions, too small for children over 9 or so. I was very surprised, given Disney's attention to detail in the flavors for the adult meals, that the kids' meals were very basic and bland. If your kids are picky eaters and that they don't like different foods or flavors, then the kids' meals will likely suit them. If your kids generally eat what adults eat and like the different flavors and spices, don't order the shrimp or macaroni. I don't know why I didn't cut that. I was thinking...
That's an important detail.
This next
almost as important as how much she likes cheese.
This is the next part that is the best part of this review. Be advised, the ladies' restroom does not have enough stalls for the size of the restaurant. There will be a line. Pro tip, don't stand directly behind the door. It will hit you when a guest opens it, not knowing that there is a line on the other side.
Wow.
Does anybody have a guess on where this is? It was a 2-star review.
That's got to be our guest,
It
right?
definitely was. Oh.
Man.
I read that one and I was sitting there trying like not to laugh just because this person went so in detail, which is great. Like I thought that was awesome that they took the time to review their entire meal.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely put some detail in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another one for Soren that I meant to read with the other one because it's pretty much the first part is the same like lament. But I think that the last part is worth mentioning, and then I'll read a different one. It's really short though.
Okay.
Would put a 0-star if I can. Worst experience ever. Wait 2 hours in line just because we didn't pay for that stupid Fast Pass, while the staff lets all the Fast Pass holders go, so the line for Fast Pass holders is empty, while the normal line is like 3 miles long. Way to do business. Never come again.
There's so much wrong with that.
I know, right?
I've seen a lot of reviews that were like, I didn't pay for Fast Passes, and that
Nobody
did.
Man. So on that note, I'm going to try to take some of the, like, I guess, super easy clues out of this one, if I can. But this is another person that I think has terrible opinions and needs to not. Classic ride, but extremely slow and boring. This ride is long overdue for a makeover, perhaps a complete reboot. I'm sure they can revamp this into something more thrilling and exciting. This is the same old crappy ride when I first rode it when I was a young lad, and it's still the same old crappy ride when I'm an older lad. Here are some ideas that float around my mind while I was dying of boredom during this ride.
Oh boy.
Modernize it by adding some Marvel or Pixar space themes, since Disney distributes movies produced by Marvel Studios. Perhaps converting the inside of the golf ball to a high... Well, I guess I just gave it away with that one. But, again, terrible ideas.
I feel like I read this review. Oh my gosh.
Perhaps converting the inside of the golf ball to a high-speed Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars, WALL-E, or come up with a new original themed ride. The ride should feel vibrant and youthful. Every time you step foot in it, it's like taking a step into the 1980s. By the time you exit it, you completely regret lining up for it. The flagship ride of Epcot should not let their guests feel this way. I was like, are you seriously? Like, obviously you guys know what it is because I kind of gave it away, but I was reading this and I was just like, are you seriously saying, hey, let's take away, like, the icon ride for Epcot and make it Marvel or Pixar?
And I love how they think there's room to put a roller coaster inside of Space Mountain, or geez, not Space Mountain, Spaceship Earth.
Yeah,
I mean, that ride is long, but I can't see anything like that.
Just like, as soon as I read that, I was just like, get out. Don't even. And this is in 2014, so I don't think they had announced the Guardians thing yet.
Yeah,
so
probably not.
They just genuinely want that to be an IP ride, I guess.
All right. I'll do my next one. I'll just tell you it's from Festival of the Lion King because what it has to do with has nothing to do with the review, as you'll see as the review states. Okay, this was a 2-star review, and it starts out, the show is spectacular and deserves 5 stars, but lots of other reviewers will tell you about it. Like, already there, when I see it's like, you gave it 2 stars, but you said it should be 5. This, I don't like to judge people too much over like one paragraph on the internet, but this is very clearly like somebody that I do not want to hang out with because you can tell that they are just miserable to be around. Okay, my review will focus on how they manage the entrance line. The people that run the waiting line were truly insulting and inefficient, very un-Disney. They kept telling us to move up together and to fill in the tiny spaces between all people. That was fine. Then the guy on the loudspeaker started singing, "If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands." When people started clapping, he said, "If you have room to clap, then you have room to move forward." He treated us with a complete lack of class. Again, very un-Disney.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's like, wow, one of the cast members tried to make like the line fun and you couldn't handle it.
Ouch.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah. Terrible trying to make us not like want to die standing in line and make it semi-interesting.
My favorite part is that if you have room to clap, you have room to move on.
Yeah. My thing is like, for Festival of the Lion King, pretty much is like, you're just waiting on the next show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not waiting in a line necessarily. You just are waiting for the like show that's going on to end.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're so mad about that. Maybe that they didn't understand, but
that seems to be the majority of these reviews is people not understanding how things work.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of people not knowing how things work, here's a good 1-star review that I want you guys to guess if you can see where it is. I'm not sure why this quote-unquote show is still at Disney. It's weird, the effects are lame, and I have no idea how it's Disney. The only thing that's good about this show is that yesterday it was air-conditioned, so we were able to get out of the heat for a while. I won't be going back again, and I wouldn't recommend ever waiting in line for this show.
I'm going to guess Monsters, Inc.
No. This is going to be one that you're going to think, like, you have to think about it from someone that's not us.
Hall of Presidents?
No, it's Enchanted Tiki Room.
What?
Wow.
How is this Disney? You know, one of like the rides that Walt designed himself.
That's why I said you have to think about it from someone that's not us, because like,
oh my god,
this is one of those attractions that I know that all of us kind of at least like appreciate for what it is. But
they probably would have been super into under new management.
Oh God. Burn it down.
That's funny. Okay, this one is kind of long, but I think that I don't know. I think that most of it should be included, so I'll try to cut out what I can along the way. But this person just had a lot to say, so I'll let you guys try to guess what this is. What a shame that the Disney table service restaurants have switched over to the same mass-produced heat lamp stabilized food available throughout the parks. Just 2 years ago, my sister and I really enjoyed going here, but this time I was dining alone, so I was treated to a nasty little corner table out of range of the outdoor fans. I made a few simple tweaks to my order. What came out in a bowl was a scoop of old cubed carrots clearly scraped from the bottom of a metal cafeteria pan, tasteless, texturally bland mashed potatoes, and a portion of salmon the size of a toddler's fist. And not a large toddler either. It was clear the salmon had not been seared, but I'd hoped for the best. I was quickly punished for my optimism by the sight of A sight of shiny, slimy fish flesh reminded me of my former employment at the Florida Correctional Institution.
What in the world?
Right? I asked my server for the check. She hadn't had time to ask whether the meal was satisfactory, or even palatable, or apt to test my reverse gag reflex later that evening. She confidently whisked the barely modified quote-unquote food back to the kitchen and brought the check. And I paid it. Yes, there was a moderate tip. On the way out, I asked to speak to a manager. What I got was Cinderella from Norway. I'm not kidding. That was what was on her name tag. Cinderella, I don't know why it says Norway, because this restaurant is not in Norway. Just a little hint there. I'm not kidding, that's what it said on her name tag. Cinderella assured me that she checks every entree before it goes out. Cinderella also assured me that every piece of salmon is cooked medium. Well, not this one. She offered me dessert and a drink to go. Very possibly the to-go part was the one she was hoping I'd agree to, and speedily. We compromised by agreeing that when I returned, she would comp the meal. Oh, and I'll update this review when I return. If Cinderella's word is of similar quality to her culinary output, I'll probably get the boot.
I have no idea.
There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, this person had a lot of problems.
So let me get this straight. Hang on, let me make sure I've got the story down first. They went there, they had a bad meal. They talked to one of the, I'm assuming, cast members that was working there, and the cast member told them that the next time they came back, they'd get a free meal.
That's what they're saying, but I don't understand how.
That was probably that cast member's last day, and they were just tired of it.
Probably.
Oh, man.
Should I just say?
I have no idea. What about you, Brian?
I'm mainly going off of the salmon. I'm trying to just think of restaurants that would have it, but I don't really have
the toddler-sized carrots.
Yeah. Well, the salmon was the size of a toddler's fist, and not a large toddler either.
Oh.
I've never actually eaten here, but this was for the Rose and Crown dining room.
Interesting.
So, yeah. And again, I don't understand why a cast member from Norway would have been here. But it's interesting that her name was Cinderella, too, but...
Yeah, I feel like that was like the cast member forgot her name tag, and...
that's probably what happened. That's funny.
Here's one. Should be pretty easy for you to guess, but I just think it was kind of ridiculous. Another 1 star. It's too dark, not fast, just a lot of neck-hurting bumps. They need to upgrade the mechanics of this thing. It would be a lot better.
Dinosaur?
Yeah.
Like, what other rides in Animal Kingdom are dark?
I just find it ridiculous that they need to update the mechanics on this thing. It's like it's completely smooth.
Right.
It's like all of those bumps are there
intentionally. Yeah, that's funny.
All right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more. I'm gonna give you this one, and I will preface this by saying that, and this is actually probably gonna give it away. So I don't know why I'm saying this, but this attraction is not here anymore. It says WTF WDW. This one, and I'm going to pronounce this how I think that they intended it to be pronounced. It says, this one sucks. And it's capital S space, capital U space, C space, capital K space, S space, exclamation point.
Hang on, wait. So the C and the second S weren't capitalized.
Wow.
Okay, see, there's some emphasis on something going on there.
If you don't mind scared, screaming young ones who then cause you to not hear what's going on in the show, then this one's for you. The shoulder harnesses are unnecessary and hurt as someone moves up and down during the show. The animatronics are okay, but overall, like most Yelpers said, just skip this one. To me and my family in the future, if this hasn't changed, then who cares about saving some time in the rain? The building smelled bad, the place is uncomfortable, and the show blows. It's your own damn fault if you ever do this one again. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go elsewhere. You liked the People Mover a lot.
Oh,
I love how they threw that in there at the end.
Is that a statement?
Yep. with an exclamation
Like
point.
you did. You liked the People Mover. I know. What? So that had to be Stitch's Great Escape,
It
right?
most certainly was.
Oh man. Were there any good reviews of Stitch's Great Escape?
I think there was like one, but they were probably like some sick sadistic person or me. Just for reference, I looked it up again. It's got 2 stars on Yelp. The total.
Oh, wow.
The total for Stitch's Great Escape, with the highest one being a 5. There's like 3 or 4 5-star reviews.
That's crazy.
I should have given you the 5-star one because that would have thrown you off.
Right? That there even is one. Okay, I have 2 that are both pretty short, but they're for the same attraction. I'll just go ahead and tell you guys what it is because I don't think there's really a way to read it without. So this is for Mission Space.
Oh boy.
This first one says, "This ride makes me want to puke. If I knew it was like that alien spaceship ride at carnivals, I would have passed. Especially because 4 of us were stuffed into a tiny pod and one of us had major BO, not me. Graphics were terrible. So much pixel. I thought Epcot was supposed to be futuristic. What happened to the HD? The buttons and such didn't do crap, so that was lame. Cool astronaut space concept, but the ride itself was poorly executed. Needs to be updated."
I do agree that it's a little weird that the buttons don't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Except make
But
sounds.
I mean, like,
this person will probably be very excited about the update with more pixel.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
look at all that pixel density.
So this is the other one for Mission Space, which I think is even better. "This is unlike anything I have ever done. I did every park and every roller coaster, etc. in Orlando. This is like being put into a dark box. It begins with the feeling of intense spinning, kind of like a 200-pound man sitting on your chest, and then the beginning of a heart attack or panic attack.
Oh, dear Lord.
Then you are shot into space, flying around, becoming increasingly dizzy and disoriented. Once your mission is over and you're done praying for your life, you have to start your journey of walking around in the 90-degree heat at Disney. Thankfully, they do provide barf bags. Also, let's note that 2 people have died after this ride. Way to go, Disney. I wouldn't even attempt if you have children. Don't do it."
Oh, man. I wanted there to be like a PS, I did the green mission one after that.
Oh my gosh.
That would have been perfect.
Oh, man. So, kind of on that note, if you're that sensitive to it, you could have gone on the non-intense one.
Right? And there's a million signs that are like, hey, don't ride this if you have, if you're prone to motion sickness, don't do it. I'm going to do it anyway and write a bad Yelp review about it.
All right, my next one is going to be for just Animal Kingdom in general. Some of my best ones are actually just for the park overall. All right, this one is 2 of us, $255. Transportation, 1 hour to park, monorail and bus. Thursday, February 15th, 2018, slow day, we were told. Navi River ride, 4.5 minutes, 2-hour wait. Flight of Passage, 5 minutes, 3-hour wait. Safari ride, 25 minutes, 2-hour wait. All attractions had a 2+ hour wait, which there's no way that they all did. We did the safari ride only and walked 20,000 steps on the Fitbit. Not many shows, maybe 5. How many do you want?
Right?
$3 per bottle of water, $9 hot dog, advertised like it was a deal, LOL. And this is the part that kills me right here. In the end of an exhausting 25-minute safari ride that was just mediocre for only $300, save it. Go to SeaWorld.
Wow. I'm offended
That
at
was
that.
written by the CEO of
Right?
SeaWorld.
Exactly.
Probably.
Man, that's so ridiculous.
I don't think anybody could make an objective argument that SeaWorld is better than Animal Kingdom in any way.
Definitely not.
If you can, please send us an email because I need to read that one. Okay, so this next one, I think you guys are going to get this one right away. So this place is the most unorganized and unprofessional restaurant that is run by a bunch of teenagers who don't care about a about 50 to 60 sweaty, angry customers who are waiting desperately for their junk food. We are already overpaying for complete grossness. At least make us feel good about it and get the order out right away. Pathetic. Apparently, I cut the part that would have made that very easy for you, so.
I'm going with Casey's.
You are correct.
Nice. Okay, there's so many for this next one that I'm having trouble picking just one of the ones that I found. This is a very short one that I can read just to get the mood set. This ride is the worst ride that I have ever gone on. There's no redeeming quality to this. The best thing that could happen is for the ride to be demolished in a dramatic fashion and replaced with anything else.
Oh, wow. Someone feels very strongly about this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a current attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm just going to take a wild guess and say Test Track?
Mm-mm.
Can you read it again one more time?
Yeah. This ride is the worst ride that I have ever gone on. There's no redeeming quality to this. The best thing that could happen is for the ride to be demolished in a dramatic fashion and replaced with anything else.
I don't know. This is so hard because, like, if it's current, you already did Spaceship Earth, so I'm going to guess it's probably not that.
I can read another one if you want.
Yeah,
because
go
there
ahead.
are a lot of 1-star reviews for this.
Go ahead.
Okay. Shame on you, Disney. What? This'll give it away. What was once a colorful, fun ride has now turned into a boring, lame, and obnoxious ride. It was very disappointing, and I would never ride again. Not even for the air conditioning on a hot day.
Is it Imagination?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the 1-star reviews for that were aplenty.
This one, and I saw this a lot going through this irks me so bad. You can't complain about the parks being busy and also complain about the price in the same breath, because those two things are going to work in opposites of each other. So, like, I can't stand that. But this one, I just don't understand. These people clearly didn't plan, but made the mistake of going there on spring break. We spent over $700 and only stayed for 4 hours. Didn't even go on one ride/attraction. Even getting lunch was a nightmare. No place to sit, but luckily a family let us sit with them. 1-star review.
There's so many problems.
Synopsis. I have so many issues with this.
How do you spend $700 in 4 hours?
Right. And why do you complain about it? If you spent that much money, then why didn't you stay longer to get your worth out of it? You only stayed for 4 hours. You didn't go on a single ride or attraction. Like, what was your plan to do there? And in this time that you didn't do any attractions, you found time to sit down and eat lunch. I don't understand.
Also, like, you're going during spring break.
Yeah.
Like, you should know it's going to be crowded.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. I'm going to do this other one that's a 1-star first before I give you the one that I think is objectively the best and has the most 1-star reviews. This is the last one I want you to guess, too, because this one's going to be probably the hardest. It's a 1-star review, and it says, "Ride broke down in the middle, not once, but twice. It wouldn't have been that bad, but they made us wait 137 minutes in order to get on. Fast Pass people went through twice, which isn't fair. Disney has gone downhill. I don't think I will come here anymore or even watch any of the movies."
Jeez.
I'm going to watch the movies, man.
They're like boycotting Disney after
yes,
this
they are.
experience.
The only ride that I feel like could make someone react that way would have to be the Tomorrowland Speedway.
It was not.
Oh. Can you read it again?
Ride broke down in the middle, not once, but twice. It wouldn't have been that bad, but they made us wait 137 minutes in order to get on. Fast Pass people went through twice, which isn't fair. Disney has gone downhill. I don't think I will come here anymore or even watch any of the movies. It's a little bit hard to guess, but I will say Brian was in the right spot. And we have talked about this.
Oh my God, was it
attraction
Carousel
breaking
of
down.
Progress?
It was not.
I was about to be upset. Like, I have gotten stuck in the same room a couple of times, so that's kind of why I was thinking maybe it was. But
Do you want me to tell you what it is?
I mean, 130. Well, with that hand, if it was 137 minutes, it broke down twice and also has fast
oh
passes.
yeah, that's true.
Is it Space Mountain?
It was not.
What?
Gosh, wow.
It was Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin.
What?
Wow. That's a long wait for Buzz.
Why would you do that wait? Man.
I don't know, but Buzz Lightyear made them not want to watch any Disney movies anymore.
I don't get the people that see the wait times and like, what is the reaction? They just go, well, this is gonna suck, and then they get in line to wait for it anyways.
This is gonna suck.
Yeah, right?
Oh.
Like, if it's not worth that wait, you go do something else.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay. I think I have one more like specific one, and then I have a couple of like just Epcot reviews that I wanted to read, but I'll do my last specific one first. If you're into bad service and mediocre overpriced food with a decent view of the pond, this place is for you. The service was not the Disney quality experience. Some poor lady was furious with the staff and dropped her water on me. I was fine, but the staff didn't do anything to clean up the area or check on me. I had the lamb sausage appetizer, and it tasted good, but not worth it for $10 for 6 pieces of poop-like sausage on tomatoes. Do not recommend.
Oh, what a great review.
I know, I was
This,
like, you said I had the lamb sausage appetizer, and it tasted good, but it's not worth it for 6 pieces of poop-like sausage on tomatoes. I was like, was it good or was it not good?
Maybe they like that taste.
Oh, man.
Yuck. Do you want to guess, or you just want me to tell you?
I want to say it's is it the? It's either it's not Beer Garden. Because that's a buffet.
Yeah, that doesn't look over the...
What's the quick service in Germany? Is it that one? Okay. For some reason, that's what I was thinking.
Is it the Spice Road table?
Yep.
Okay. I was just trying to think of ones that overlook the pond.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
I've got one more decent one for a ride-specific one.
All right, cool. Let's hear it.
This review is mainly based upon the way that the staff handled the time in line. I had to wait over 3 hours despite the fact that they listed it as under 2. By the time we got to the top, my little one had to go to the bathroom, and thus we waited for nothing.
Oh wow.
And how is that Disney's fault?
I don't know. Anytime somebody complains about the lines, it's like, what do they think? Disney's hiring like a bunch of extras to just come and stand in line in front of you? Like,
Right.
That's other guests in the park doing the exact same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that could be though.
It was a 2-hour wait.
In Animal Kingdom?
It was a 3-hour
Or a 3-hour wait.
Was it Flight of Passage?
It was indeed.
That's what I was going to guess.
Oh.
That's funny.
There were a huge number of 1-star reviews for Flight of Passage. And the vast majority, like, there were so many ones that were complaining about them not having a bathroom in the line. And no attraction at Disney has a bathroom in the line.
Right?
Maybe you just haven't found it yet, Brian. But
Maybe. Or maybe maybe other people have looser definitions of what a bathroom is.
oh gosh. So this one I have 3 1-star reviews for this one, and this one had an overwhelming number of 1 stars. I'm going to start with this one. Tell me if you guys can guess what it is, and then I'll read the other ones, but I'll keep going through them if you can't get it. So this first one says, I love Walt Disney World more than most people love their own children, but I would rather chew on aluminum foil for 15 minutes than ride this attraction ever again.
I mean, maybe that could be Tomorrowland
It
Speedway?
is not. Do you want me to read the next one?
That's the only way that is the only ride I could feel that strongly about.
Do you want me to read the next one, or do you have a guess, Brian?
I have no guess.
Okay, nothing personal, but I hate this ride with a passion more than I can muster. The sickening music just never stops. I feel like the ride won't stop.
There it is.
Yeah.
The best part of this review is this last line. On the bright side, it would make the very best shooting gallery.
Wow.
It's a little disturbing. All right, so it's a small world.
It most definitely is, and this next one is my favorite review that I read. Who? Racist, stereotypical, uninformed, and nostalgic only. If you miss the days where culture mattered, or where the only culture mattered was Western culture. The whole continent of Africa was represented by monkeys, other animals, and 4 kids in grass skirts. The continent of Asia is a hodgepodge out of Japanese and China. The Middle East is identical to India. I guess this was made sense in the 60s.
Wow.
Oh.
Man, they made it seem like all hippos only have like one working eye.
My favorite is that, like, if you look up the number of 1-star reviews on It's a Small World, there are so many.
Oh my
Let me
gosh.
see what the actual overall rating is.
Man, and you know, the thing that I love about these reviews is like, these people felt so strongly that they like, I'm going home and I'm writing a 1-star Yelp review about
Or they
this.
did it while they were still there. There were some that were written like in the present tense. Like, I'm still waiting such and such time on this ride.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So these are just overall like general Epcot 1-star reviews, which I was kind of surprised that the park as a whole got 1-star reviews. But I feel like these people, like these next two, they're both really short, but I feel like they both are like, they don't understand the concept of a theme park or the idea of like planning, which has been a common theme in a lot of these. But the first one just says, "We will never visit again. It was very disappointing to go there at 8:30 a.m. and all country shows open at 11 a.m. Extremely expensive for very little." And I'm like, okay, but a quick Google search, like that's their only complaint. A quick Google search could have shown you that World Showcase opens at 11.
No planning.
I feel like that's such like a minor thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and then this person, I feel like, just doesn't understand how transactions work at theme parks. Fiona and Luke in Germany were super rude and they were not accommodating. I asked for a side of cheese with my wine and they were trying to charge me extra on top of what I already paid for. I was simply asking for more cheese, not more wine. We spend so much money here, this is very ridiculous. It's like, give me some free cheese.
That's great. Hey, is this that same person from the first time around at Mario's review that liked cheese a lot?
it's the Minnie Mouse review.
Maybe. Maybe
There
it's
was
the
an
mouse
inadequate
girl.
amount of cheese at both parts. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, what, you think it's just like a one-time payment? You get as much cheese?
I mean, I bought a glass of wine. It comes with cheese too, right? That's how it works.
Oh, gosh.
Reading these reviews just gives me a newfound respect for people that work in the service industry. I can't even imagine. Okay, I've got 2 fairly short overall ones for Animal Kingdom. Let's see. First one makes absolutely no sense. This is another 1-star. Waited 2 hours before they told us the Navi River ride was broken. Had to skip one of our fast passes to make up the time lost.
What?
What?
Yeah, if someone can explain to me the logic behind that, how skipping a fast pass is going to give you extra time.
Right?
Yeah. And then let's see, this second one is your typical something happened while I was at Disney and the cast members did not like give me free stuff thing.
The worst.
Yeah, another 1-star review. The only good review is for Courtney from Ohio in guest services. She is the friendliest person I've ever met at Disney property. Super intelligent, efficient, and very kind. The rest of the park is awful. Charges double what everything should cost and got stuck on the Rapids ride. Josh, the manager at Pandora, refused to provide a fast pass after that horrible experience. He was a complete jerk. So, to break this down, you got stuck on a ride that is not even in the same area of the park that you were trying to give someone to give you a free fast pass for.
I love it.
Sounds like someone was looking for a way to get on Flight of Passage.
I know, right?
Oh. So I have 2 overall reviews if you guys want them for Magic Kingdom.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this first one is pretty short. It says, I went to see what all the hype was about. Big mistake ever. Not biggest, big mistake ever. Tons of adults with no kids dressed like characters and running around like big nerds. I think I could have counted how many people were in the park that didn't have Disney clothes on one hand, including myself. I walked the whole park to see if there was anything that would catch my interest, and I found it, the exit. Sorry to all those people that are passionate about this place. It's just not my thing. But I swear, no lie, I'm buying stock in this place.
So, wait, tell me they did not go to one of the Halloween parties and then complain about people being dressed up.
That's the only thing I can think of, because it says tons of adults with no kids dressed like the characters and running around like big nerds. So that's the only thing I can think of.
It's got to be either that or they went on Dapper Day or something, which even Dapper Day wouldn't have that many people dressing up.
Wow.
Let me see, because I still actually have the review up. It was October 25th, 2018. Look at
there
that.
It is. Man.
And then this next one, I think... Brian, you said someone was writing a review from SeaWorld. I'm pretty sure someone from Universal wrote this review. It says this place is really behind the times. Everything is so outdated and old. The rides were mediocre and underwhelming. Maybe if you had really, really small kids who are still into princesses and meeting Disney characters and be prepared to wait in the long lines, it might be worth it, and that's a stretch. After spending a week in Universal Studios, this place cannot compare. Disney's Magic Kingdom desperately needs an update on their rides. We met employees that were just downright rude and had no smiles at all and did not even know their own PhotoPass options. We already purchased the Memory Maker and had watermarks on our PhotoPass pictures, but we were told conflicting info from multiple cast members to try to work it out. And such, we had to purchase the photos again, ... exclamation point. We were also not told that our unlimited refill cups did not work in the parks, but only the resort. There's a question mark there, so I'm not sure how that one worked.
Were we told? Maybe they don't remember. They're like, did they tell us?
For the amount that Disney charges for these parks and the increasing prices year after year, they have very little to show for it. We will definitely not be back and do not buy into the fake magic. Dreams do not come true here.
Dang. Man.
Yeah, that's funny. See, when they always throw in something about like, oh, Universal's better or SeaWorld's better, it looks awfully suspicious.
Uh-huh. Did I ever tell you guys about the commercial that I kept seeing come on when I was down there on one trip? Like, it was like a Universal ad on TV.
No.
And it's like, you know, it goes through like the Harry Potter, like different footage of people having fun and doing stuff. And,
wait, I think I've seen this commercial.
It says something at the end like, your kids grew up, your vacation should too.
Oh, I have.
I was like, dang, Universal throwing shade over here.
I know.
That's...
Sorry for my childlike wonder.
Like, I understand that there's going to always be competition, but at the same time, you would think that, like, Universal would understand that if Disney World hadn't been built there, like, their theme park would not even exist. Like, it wouldn't have even been a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and this is going to sound really weird, but there's a very specific audience for Disney, too. Like, I mean, the people that go that are our age that, you know, don't have kids or stuff like that, like, the people that they're targeting and saying, like, your vacation should grow up, too, is like, why are you even targeting that demographic? Because you know that they're going to Disney for a specific reason, and it's not anything you could really change.
Right, and like, where do you draw the line? I mean, there's still a lot of kid-themed attractions at Universal, so I don't get that. That seems like, that doesn't make sense.
I also just love that they said in this review, after spending a week at Universal Studios, this place cannot compare. Disney's Magic Kingdom desperately needs an update to their rides. Like, okay, but at Universal, you're sitting in a cart watching screens. At Disney, you're actually, like, going through attractions.
And even, I mean, you could cherry pick ones at each park that are outdated, you know?
Right.
I don't know. Man, it's just like you said, it's awfully suspicious because there's a lot of updating that needs to be done at Universal, so...
And the funny thing is, like, this is a very weird thing that I like to point out to a lot of people, but it's hard to compare Magic Kingdom and Universal, just like it would be comparing Universal to Animal Kingdom. The parks have two very different ideas in mind. So it's like, to compare Universal and say, like, oh, this park is so much better than Magic Kingdom. Well, like, it does what it's trying to do, and maybe that's what you're looking for in the park, but, like, at the same time, Hollywood Studios used to do the same thing. Like, oh. So, did you guys have any other reviews or anything you wanted to talk about this week?
I think that was all I had.
Yeah.
That was all I had, too. We got a new review on iTunes, but it was just a 5-star review, so whoever left that, thank you. There was no comments attached. Yeah, I mean, the thing about iTunes, and I mean, I'm going to take a moment to say this because we got a little bit of time, but the thing about iTunes that's very weird, and the reason a lot of people don't like their podcasting app anymore is because the way they rank podcasts is by reviews. So by giving us just a random 5-star review, that like boosts us in the search numbers now. So whenever someone searches for Walt Disney World, we just go up a little bit higher because of that review. And a lot of people don't really realize that. So if you get a second, go review the podcast, and maybe we'll reach a wider audience of people and be able to talk more Disney.
Yeah.
Then that's going to do it for us this week. Thanks for joining us again on another episode of the Station 71 podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find us online at facebook.com/Station71pod, Instagram at Station71podcast, Twitter at Station71pod, and you can send us a listener email to station71podcast@gmail.com. Be sure to check out our brand new website at www.station71podcast.com, where you can find links to all of our social media and previous shows. We hope you enjoyed your ride, and we'll see you real soon.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.